Our topic once again is finding your way forward. What to do when you don't know what else to do. And like I said, this is part 3. I'm going to recap a little bit and then we will go into the material for today. We started with this powerful statement. You can never corner a champion. There is always a way out. There is always a way forward. And I want you to believe it with the whole of your heart. There is always a way out. No matter what the situation is that you are dealing with, there is always a way out. Then I said to you to start with rest. Start with rest. I advised that you rest in God and that you rest in healthy relationships. That's what we covered in week 1. Rest in God, rest in healthy relationships. When you are in a tough place or when you are just coming out of a tough season, it is not a time for you to have toxic people in your life. So you've got to what? Remove yourself from toxic relationships. Remove yourself from people who don't want to be at peace with you. Okay? They are not the enemy, but if care is not taken, they will distract you from the real battle that you're supposed to be engaged in. So you want to rest in positive and healthy relationships. 2 things I'm saying here. Remove yourself from toxic relationships, but make sure to surround yourself with healthy relationships. That's what we covered in week 1. Then in week 2, I told you to repair and reset. Okay? Repair and reset. By that, I mean review and resolve what happened objectively and reposition yourself for a better experience. That's what we covered last week. Review and resolve what happened. Okay, everybody has a past. Something happened. Maybe you intended it to happen. Maybe you did not intend it to happen. Maybe it happened to you. Somebody made it happen to you. Whatever it is, you can get to a point of healing where you can recall the past without pain. When you get into that frame of mind, you will realize it's not only that you went through pain, but in the midst of your pain, there was providence. In other words, you were never alone. The hand of God was with you. Okay. And in that difficult season, you would notice patterns. You would see pointers to possibilities. That is if you sit to review and resolve what happened. And then in that season, you also reposition yourself for a better experience. And then we pushed it further. I told you to fix the problem, not the blame. Fix the problem, not the blame. What do I mean? Even if someone maltreated you or mistreated you, refuse to play the victim in your own story. Refuse to play the victim in your own story. You are a winner. And we pushed further. We now said you should query the past for valuable insight. Okay, query the past for valuable insight. In other words, excavate valuable insight from your experience. How do you do that? You do it with critical questions. Time will not permit me to go over the questions that we covered last week, Wednesday. And finally, last week, I told you to take responsibility for your progress. Take responsibility for your progress. I reminded you that there are certain things that no one will do for you. You've got to love yourself. Okay? Nobody can love you more than you love yourself. You've got to learn for yourself because nobody can learn for you. Okay? And we shared so many things along that line. We rounded up with this statement that I've made for years, and I believe some of you will be hearing it for the umpteenth time right now. But it is very, very true. People will help you succeed when it becomes apparent that you will likely succeed without their help. I want you to read it slowly. It's very important. People will help you succeed when it becomes apparent that you will likely succeed without their help. And that's the reason why I am asking you a question tonight. What are you going to do to move your life forward? Okay? What are you going to do? What are you willing to do to move your life forward? Because Nobody will help you more than you help yourself. People will see what you are doing for yourself before they lend a hand. They lend a hand. So let me ask you again, what are you willing to do? What are you going to do to move your life forward? I have a title for tonight's broadcast, and I've decided to call it Embrace New Beginnings. That's my suggestion to you. Embrace new beginnings. Okay? When I say embrace new beginnings, I mean be willing to face a different direction. Be willing to do things differently. Be willing to do life with a new set of people. It's okay for you to change or move locations. It's okay for you to move out of old relationships into new ones. Be willing to learn. This is important. Be willing to learn, because if you are not changing, then you are not learning. As we grow into adulthood, sometimes we deceive ourselves into thinking that the fact that time is counting means that we are growing. No, growing old is guaranteed. Growing up is optional. Growing old is guaranteed. Growing stronger, growing wiser is optional. I like the words of Brian Tracy. Look at what Brian Tracy said. He said, continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field. Continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field. That's why I'm saying to you to do what? To embrace new beginnings. Now, under this topic tonight, I have three big suggestions I want to make to you. Okay, as you face a new direction, as you find your way forward, I have asked you to do what? Embrace new beginnings. Now, there are three things that I want to suggest that you do, and this is the first one. Embrace your true identity. Okay, embrace your true identity. Why do I say that? Because self-awareness informs self-development. Let me say that again. Self-awareness informs self-development. How you see yourself determines what you are willing to do for yourself. Okay? Self-awareness informs self-development. If you see yourself as worthy of great investment, you will invest greatly in yourself. Let me describe it to you in another way. You cannot grow beyond what you know and believe about yourself. That's why I'm asking you to what? To embrace your true identity. You have to see yourself for who you really are. Not what the past said about you. Not what people are saying about you. See, people are limited. Most of the time they describe you by what happened. They describe you by what they can see in the present. People can't see what you carry on your inside. People can't see what God has destined you for in your future. So you can't afford to let what they call you be your identity. Okay? Embrace your true identity. I like the words of Maya Angelou. Look at what she said. She said, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Know yourself, and you will know your strength. I think we should read it again. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Know yourself, and you will know your strength. This is a very powerful statement. You see, what is happening is not a true definition of what will happen. When you know yourself, you will know the event does not define me. I define the event. Listen, there are people that things happen to, but those who know themselves know that they are the ones happening to things. Okay, let's also consider the words of Carl Jung. Look at what Carl Jung said. He said, your identity is not just what you do, but who you are. That's what gives you the power to do what you do. Your identity is not just what you do, but who you are. And that's what gives you the power to do what you do. So it's not what you are doing that comes first, but who you are. How you see yourself, like I said before, determines what you are willing to do, okay, for yourself. If you see yourself as a winner, you will do what winners do to overcome setbacks and challenges in life. If you see yourself as royalty, you will treat yourself as royalty. If you see yourself as excellent, you will treat yourself as excellent. And it's amazing how you see yourself is how you treat other people. And how you treat other people is how they treat you. So if you're that kind of person who feels, look, I'm getting, bad experiences, okay? People are treating me badly. A lot of times, people are only reflecting back to you what you are pushing out at them. Yet there are some other persons who don't know themselves, so they treat themselves terribly. But this is what I found out. When you put your foot down and say, no, I won't be treated that way, that's not who I am. Guess what? They will turn around and start treating you the way you want to be treated. And over time, they will start treating themselves better. You would have been the one to model to them. There is a better way to live. There's a better way to treat people. So you've got to embrace your true identity. But I'm wondering, somebody says, but I don't know who I am. How do I treat myself, or how do I, uncover my true identity? I don't know who I am. See, when a lot of negative things have happened to you, or when you have attempted so many things and they have not worked, those experiences have a tendency of beclouding your judgment. So I want to help you tonight to uncover your true identity. I'm going to share with you a number of questions, about 5 of them. I want you to be able to sit down and answer these questions honestly. These questions will point you in the direction of your true identity. And this is the first one. What has God said about you? What has God said about you? My advice is that you embrace it, and soon you will become it. What has God said to you? I was thinking about it today, and this beautiful statement occurred to me. Every mirror reflects what's in front of it. But God's word is the only mirror that reflects what's on the inside of who is looking into it. Let me say it again. Every mirror reflects what's in front of it. But God's word is the only mirror that reflects what is on the inside of who is looking into it. And I'm saying to you, whatever the word of God says concerning you, embrace it, and soon you will become it. Your true identity is found in the description of your Creator concerning you. Just like we buy products and we read the manufacturer, the manual, okay, to understand the product, to understand how to use the product. We guys make that mistake all the time. You think I've used a similar device before, so I will just use this one. And sometimes we use devices, we use gadgets, and we don't use them to the fullness of their potential. Let me make fun of myself, because I did exactly the same thing. So I do graphics from time to time. I've used Photoshop for years. And not too long ago, I was stranded, not really stranded. I was somewhere and I didn't have access to Photoshop. So I needed to do some designs online. And that was how I stumbled on Adobe Express. And I used it and I liked it. I enjoyed using it. And since then, I've been using it. Until a couple of weeks ago, I was, just browsing online, and I saw someone talk about how he creates videos with Adobe Express, how he does this, he does that with Adobe Express. Now watch this. I've been using the platform just for graphic designs. I did not know that the platform could do much more than graphic designs, because I did not bother to read about what the platform was all about. All I did with it was graphic designs, because that was what I needed in that moment. And for so many of us, that's the way we are living our lives. What people have said, okay? What has happened severally. Some of us, we even consult our own history. Look at what has happened in my life. When I was 15, this happened. When I was 25, this happened. And this is what is going to happen. No, your history is not your prophecy. So you've got to consult what God has said concerning you. It may sound strange. It may feel absurd. It may feel far-fetched. But listen, embrace it. If God says you're a winner, you're a winner. If God says you are the first and not the last, you are the first and not the last. If God says that you are more than a conqueror, you are more than a conqueror. If God calls you an eternal excellency, that is who you are. If God says that you are victorious, believe me, you are victorious. Why? Because God's word has the power to bring itself to pass. So when you want to uncover your true identity, that is where you start from. What has God said concerning you? Now I'm talking about what he said in the word, what he said in the Bible. See, but over and above that, for those of us who are people of faith, the more you fellowship with God, the more he wants to reveal your identity to you. What I found out is as you get closer to God, he wants to discuss identity. He wants to discover purpose. When he met with Jeremiah, he said, before I formed you, I knew you, and I ordained you a prophet to the nations. By the time Jeremiah left that encounter with God, he was certain of his identity. I am a prophet. If you will engage with God, he will reveal to you who you really are. Your identity will be clear. And don't forget, self-awareness informs self-development. The moment you know yourself and you know who you are, developing yourself will come easier. Developing yourself will be fun for you. Let's move on to the second question. What are you passionate about? We want to uncover your true identity. We said the first one is what? What has God said about you? The second one is, what are you passionate about? Okay? What are you passionate about? When I say that, I mean what excites you, what pleases you. These are pointers to who you are. What annoys you? Okay? These are pointers to who you are. It will amaze you how that what excites you does not excite another person. What pleases you does not please some other persons. What annoys you does not annoy some other persons. I mean, from when I was a kid, I've just loved organization, order. Okay, I like to just arrange things neatly. Okay, if it's supposed to be on a straight line, I want it to be on a straight line. If it's supposed to be done at 10, I want it to be done at 10. As I matured, it dawned on me, I am a leader. I am a strategist. That is who I am. I am passionate about organizations. I am passionate about people development. I am passionate. Let me share this with you. This happened just today. My son returned from school and he engaged me and we're talking, and then he asked me a question. He said, Daddy, do you know the founder of Boy Scouts? He's in Boy Scouts now and he's very excited about it. I said, well, I don't know. And then he told me the story of the man, okay, how that the man was walking on the streets one day and he saw two boys were misbehaving and all that. And the man said he was going to do something about it. And that was how he started Boy Scout. And then he made a statement. He said, Daddy, that reminds me about you. Reminds me of you. I said, what do you mean? He said, you're always trying to help people. Okay. And this is what I'm trying to say. My son understands who I am because in his 9 years of living, he has seen me consistently do certain things. And I'm saying the same thing about you. If you ask people around you, what do you think I'm always excited about? Even if you don't ask anybody, you know it. Okay. Sometimes other people will do something and they get bored. You don't get bored because it's something you are passionate about. Let's move on to the next question. The next question says, what's unique about you? What is unique about you? By that, I mean, what can you do better than most people? What's special? Okay. In which area do you have a leverage? Some people, they're just good with numbers. Some other persons are good with people and it's unique to them. Some people are good with hospitality. Some people are gifted with good looks. It's just what's unique about you. Some are fluent with languages. See, whatever is unique about you is a pointer to your true identity. Some people just love to travel. And they have a way with it. Okay. It's their uniqueness. Some people, it's with creativity. That's your uniqueness. Okay. That is a pointer to your identity. Let me ask you another question, and this will really help. What do you find very easy to learn? What do you find very easy to learn? Your aptitude is a pointer to your identity. Your aptitude is a pointer to your identity. Okay. See, some of us make the mistake of trying to trap ourselves in labels and descriptions that other people have used before. Don't make that mistake. When we're talking about your identity, we're not asking you to force yourself into a mold. Let me give an example of what I'm saying. A couple of years ago, maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago, you wouldn't hear somebody say, oh, I am a social media marketer. There was nothing like that. You will not hear anybody say, oh, I am an AI specialist. There was nothing like that. Okay. See, but the people who have pressed into these fields have had their aptitude all the while. So it's not about what you can do right now. It's about who you are. You see, who you are determines what you want to learn, what you can learn, what you learn very, very fast. Kids who become, prodigies, who become excellent musicians, didn't even know what music was, but since they were kids, they just displayed that aptitude. Ask yourself that question. What do I find very easy to learn? It determines who you are. I'm going to ask you to use labels to describe you that are not restrictive. Okay. For example, I call myself a strategist. I call myself a coach. I don't call myself a pastor, not because I don't pastor, but because I am more than that. Not because that's not enough, but I just happen to be more gifted than to just be a pastor. And I'm going to ask you to, by all means, die empty. Let everything that God has placed within you find expression while you are still alive. Don't fix yourself into anybody's mold, okay? You are the one who is supposed to design the mold. Some of us are going to break into new fields. We are going to create genres that never existed before because you are unique like that. And the final question I want us to look at is, what has life taught you? Okay, I'm talking about your experience. What has life taught you? Okay, what did you survive? It's a pointer to your identity. What did you survive? Some of us are telling stories of things that took some other people out. Listen, that you survived it, that you surmounted it is an indication of capacity, is an indication of your uniqueness. Okay, so your experience is also a pointer to your identity. My message tonight is embrace new beginnings. And the first suggestion I have shared with you tonight is what? Embrace your true identity. Because of time, I want us to move on to the second big idea I came to share with you tonight, and it is craft a new vision. Craft a new vision. I didn't say catch a new vision. I said craft a new vision, and I'm intentional with that word. Time may not permit us to go into the details of how to craft a vision tonight, but believe you me, visions are crafted. Let's proceed with the words of John Scully. He said, "The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious." The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. A vision is a vivid mental picture of a preferred future. Why am I asking you to craft a new vision? Because vision drives innovation and progress. I'm saying if you can see it, you will innovate. If you can see it, you will do whatever it is, that is required of you to achieve it. If you can see it. A lot of times people get discouraged, people give up, and it is because they cannot see possibilities. Listen, vision encourages out of the box thinking. And that's why I'm asking you to craft a compelling vision, craft a new vision. Ask yourself the question, where am I? You define it. Where do I want to go? Not where am I likely to get to? I hear people ask questions like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? And most of the time, people consult and consider their present, okay, to determine what they would respond to. But no. So how they will respond to that question, that's not what you do. You say to yourself, what's possible? What's possible? If money was not a problem, if there were no restrictions to my life, what is possible? Considering my giftings, considering my creativity, considering the way I have been designed by God, what is possible? And then you define it. You say to yourself, this is where I am, that is where I am going, and I am going to get there. Another thing I found out is that vision helps to avoid distractions. That's why I'm asking you to craft a new vision. You're coming out of a difficult place. You don't even know what to do with your life. It's okay. You may not know how to put the next foot in front of the other one, but at least you must be clear about where you want to go. You may not be able to pay your way there. You may not have the kind of people that can help you get there, but be clear about where you want to go. I'm reminded of the words of Bartimaeus when he cried, after Jesus, and he said, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. And then Jesus sent for him, and Jesus asked him, what do you want me to do for you? And it's amazing how that many of us assume that life ought to know what we desire. No. People know what you truly desire, but how passionately you pursue it. You know what Bartimaeus said? He said, Rabbi, I want to see. Okay, I want to see. He didn't know what it will take. He didn't know if it was possible, but he was clear about what he wants with his life, what he wants in his future. Rabbi, I want to see. I want you to be able to write the same thing down. By tomorrow morning, be able to say, you know what? This is where I am. That is where I want to go. Okay, that is where I want to go. As we proceed tonight, I want to share with you how to train your mind to see possibilities. And I've got 4 major suggestions that I want to share with you tonight. Training your mind to see possibilities. Listen to this. Your imagination is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Your imagination is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. So these are my 4 suggestions, on how to train your mind to see possibilities. The first one is expose your mind consistently to creative ideas. Expose your mind consistently to creative ideas. All right. I'm talking about books first, then intelligent entertainment. Now, this is important. Books first. When I say creative ideas, I'm talking about books, and then I'm talking about intelligent entertainment. This is what I have discovered. How you think is determined mainly by what you feed your mind regularly. Let me say that again. How you think is determined mainly by what you feed your mind regularly. So if you want to train your mind to see possibilities, feed your mind with great ideas consistently. And like I said, books are your best friend. Books are your best bet, okay? Read engaging books. Read books of creative people. Read books that contain fantastic ideas. And over time, you will see your mind begin to generate fantastic ideas. See, when you stretch your mind by study, you would discover that your definition of possibilities will skyrocket, will shift to another level. So the first thing I want you to do is what? Expose your mind consistently to creative ideas. Watch intelligent videos. Please don't consume crass entertainment. Don't pollute your mind with things that don't help you become better. Let me realize what I'm telling you. I'm not saying don't entertain yourself. I am saying invest in intelligent entertainment. Listen, there are movies that by the time you're done watching them, you are a wiser person. There are movies you will watch that will make you think, that will make you generate exceptional ideas. There are videos, short videos of YouTube, on YouTube, TED Talks. 18 minutes, 15 minutes, some of them 5 minutes, that by the time you're done listening to them, you are a different person. Invest in such content, not gossip, not vulgar comedy, not things that won't help you become a better person, okay? Expose your mind consistently to creative ideas. That's one of the major ways you train your mind, to see possibilities. The second one is this. Take responsibility for solving complex problems. Take responsibility for solving complex problems. I'm saying participate in meetings. Okay? Volunteer for challenging assignments. Make your brain sweat. Please Don't be that person. You attend a 2-hour meeting and you said nothing. No, don't be that person. I'm not talking about the organization. I'm talking about you. Like I said before, your mind is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Don't be that person where an issue comes up and your response is no idea. No. Something happened when I was a student studying law. And the lecturer asked the question, and the first lady he asked, the lady just responded, no idea. And the lecturer said, get out of my class. The university is not for people without ideas. And this is what we're trying to say. See, there's no question you really cannot answer. You may not know the right answer, but if you engage your mind, you will say something. For example, somebody says, do you know the country called Snowball Island? You're like, Snowball Island? And then you say, is it in Europe? Okay. One of the best ways you engage in a conversation is ask questions. If you don't know the answer, ask a question that can help us get to the answer. You say, Snowball Island, is it in Europe? The person says, no. Oh, could it be in Africa? Instead of, I don't know. This is what I found out. When you say, I don't know, you actually shut down your thinking process. All right. So take responsibility for solving complex problems. You are in a meeting. The boss says, you know what? We have this problem. We need to solve. Don't tune off and say, it's not people like me they are talking to. No, engage. You know, it's amazing how that when we were kids, we used to wonder why our parents read newspapers. And the thing is big and bulky. And I was always just wondering. But this is what I found out. When you mature, you're leading your own life, you're running your own organization, or you have an important job you are doing, you will find out that your ability to engage in matters that don't really have strong consequences over you, that's how you prepare to deal with matters that have strong consequences that affect you. You are in the office, they say, you know what, we have 25 employees, but we can only pay 20, we need to fire 5. What do we do? Engage. Think. What if we don't have to fire the 5 people? Okay, don't say to yourself, as long as I'm not on the list. No, one day you will get on the list. That's the truth. One day you will get on the list. But if you want your mind to continue to generate exceptional ideas, then take responsibility for complex problems. For example, consider Nigeria's problems and provide solutions. Don't fight anybody. Don't abuse anybody. Just think, if I was the president, what would I do differently? Because a lot of times we criticize, and one of the ways we shut down intelligence is with criticism. Please allow me to say that tonight. I have found out that people who are overly, critical, most of the time don't cultivate. People who are busy pointing accusing fingers don't have the time to construct. So you want to be that person who don't fix the blame, fix the problem. I said that concerning yourself or your life, last week. I'm saying it concerning everything. Don't look for whose fault is it. See, the moment you say it is somebody's fault, you absolve yourself of responsibility. You deny your brain the ability to generate answers at that level. If you were David, you went to the battle, you would have just delivered lunch, okay, and gone home. I have done what they said I should do. You wouldn't engage your mind. I was sharing this with somebody very recently. David would have left that battlefield, delivered the lunch, and he would have gist to say to people. Maybe if there was social media in those days, David would have left the battle, he would have taken some pictures, and then he would get home and update his status. Can you imagine? Saul cannot fight. There's a big giant. All of them are just there. 40 days, no problem. Full grown adults. Okay, and then he leaves it at a criticism, and that's it. And this is what I'm trying to say. Many a times we walk away from problems we can solve, and then we walk away from relevance, we walk away from glory because we refuse to engage. We refuse to participate. I'm asking you to what? Take responsibility for solving complex problems. If it is not your problem, it is easier for you to be objective. For you to be objective about it when it's not your problem. That's the reason why counselors, a lot of times when you go to some people for counseling, it's not because they know the answer. It's because they take responsibility. And the more you are, the farther you are away from the problem, the easier it is for you to engage. This is what the average counselor now knows. Most of the time when you have challenges in your own life, you will begin to drink from the same fountain from which you tapped into to help other people. So Take responsibility for solving complex problems. I said I'm going to share 4 ideas with you. At this point, I've shared 2. The remaining 2 for me are the most important. This is the 3rd idea. Think first. Make a habit of thinking before you do or say anything. All right? Think first. Can somebody just put it in the comments so that it can sink in? Because writing clarifies thinking. Write it in the comment. Tag yourself. Put your name there, okay? Femi, think first. I want you to make it a habit. If you forget everything I've shared with you tonight, take this one thing from me. From this moment, don't say anything. Don't do anything until you think first. This is what I'm saying. No matter the pressure, think. Okay? No matter the pressure, think. Before you talk, think. Before you do anything. As a matter of fact, if you have taken the first step, continue to think. We are human beings. We are not human doings. What we do is not what defines us. It is the ideas that we generate, all right, that defines us. So do what? Think first. Think always. I like that slogan from Toyota so many years ago. Good thinking, good product. You want to generate exceptional ideas. You want to see possibilities. You want to be a true visionary. Then make a habit of thinking. And the last one is very similar to it, but it is different. The last one is not just think first, but think twice. Don't just think first, think twice. Your first idea is not necessarily your best idea. Okay? Think twice. Don't run with the first idea. Don't run with what occurred to you first. Pause. Think twice. Let me say it in another way. Use another brain to ensure that you have the best idea. John Maxwell calls this shared thinking. Make sure that whatever it is that you are doing, you are not the only person that processed it. You are smart, you are intelligent, but 2 are better than 1. So think twice. Use 2 brains, not 1. And if you don't have another brain around you, then use your own more than twice before you go out with the idea. It will help you to generate exceptional ideas. Now, the challenge with so many people is if you can't see far, you can't dream big. If you can't see far, you won't be excellent. If you are not excellent, you will be irrelevant. It's not like people don't want to reckon with you, but you are not solving problems at the level that they need problems to be solved. Why? Because you have not trained your mind to see possibilities. Okay? In subsequent sessions, we probably would still explore this, further. This ability to see possibilities. It goes a very long way. But I'm mindful of time. This perhaps is the longest session we've done in a while. So let's begin to round up. And the final idea I want to share with you, the final big idea I want to share with you tonight is develop a new routine. And I'm going to be quick with this one because I've been speaking about this recently. Okay? Develop a new routine. Develop a new routine. I like the words of John Maxwell in his book, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. He said, you are today where your habits have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your habits take you. And that's why I am asking you to develop a new routine. You want to face a new direction. You want to embrace new beginnings. You want to pivot. You want to do things you've never done before. You want to learn things you have not learned before. Then develop new routines. Because of time, let me round up tonight like this. Somebody says, yeah, I want new habits. What are the areas that I should focus on? Now, there is no hard and fast rule. When it comes to a new routine, what I call a personal growth routine, it can be anything. Okay, somebody will say, you know what, I want to work on my physicality, on my health. And so you come up with a routine that has to do with your exercise and your diet and all that. It's fantastic. Another person says, you know what, I want to grow my financial intelligence. I want to, hone my financial habits. Yeah, you come up with a regimen and you follow it. It's fantastic. Listen, but whatever you do, there are 5 areas that everybody must develop. Okay, there are 5 areas that everybody must develop, and I want to show them to you tonight, and then I round up. Okay, the first one is thinking skills. Whatever your new routine is, make sure that you develop your thinking skills. The second one is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. The third one is communication. That is speaking and writing. Okay, speaking and writing, we're looking at critical areas you must focus on as you develop yourself, as you execute this new routine. Thinking skills, emotional intelligence, communication. The fourth one is execution. I call it the discipline of getting things done. Execution. And the fifth is spirituality. Please take note of these 5. Okay, take note of these 5. Thinking skills, emotional intelligence, communication, execution, and spirituality. Spirituality. Godliness guarantees growth. Okay, godliness guarantees growth. And don't forget, who you are is who you attract. Who you are is who you can keep in your life. What I love about godliness, what I love about spirituality is how that spirituality has a way of taking care of the other 4 skills or the other 4 qualities that you want to develop. Let me show you the list again. Thinking skills, emotional intelligence, communication, execution, and spirituality. In my opinion, spirituality is the most important. Some people make the mistake of thinking that people who are truly successful are only working with their brains. No, they are not just using their minds. Most successful people are also deeply spiritual people. That they are not Christians does not mean that they are not spiritual. That is important, because I hear a lot of people talk about, we pray a lot in this country. People that are really successful are not even praying. They may not be serving your God, but they don't joke with their spirituality. That's the truth. God makes people rich. The devil makes people rich. And the people who worship the devil don't joke. That's the truth. And I don't want to, go into details, but listen, you don't want to joke with your spirituality and other skills that we have talked about. Because of time, let's round it up there tonight. We will continue next week, Wednesday. But